Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku. Bringing you a grand solar minimum update Sunday, February 19th, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. There is a geomagnetic storm watch for the X 2.28 solar flare that kicked off the sun a few days ago. Impact is expected in the next 4 to 6 hours. So we're keeping a close eye on that, and the full forecast will be in just a moment. The big story, however, is significant coast-to-coast storm to impact millions this week with snow, ice, flooding, and severe weather. Keep calm. It's boom time. A major coast-to-coast storm is developing, and this is what we know. Long-duration winter storm will impact millions from Tuesday to Friday across the northern tier of the U.S., as well as most of the West. Threat for significant snow, ice is increasing across the northern tier. Heavy rain could lead to flooding for parts of the heartland. And that is just the beginning. Here is the tracking. As the storm begins in the northwest on Tuesday, heavy snow and rain for the northwest and heavy snow for the higher elevations. By Wednesday, possible blizzard conditions and severe storms down here. Take a look in the Little Rock area as the storm develops in the Four Corners region. By Thursday, there could be significant ice and storms with heavy rain south of the front. Cincinnati, Nashville heads up with ice north of the front from Chicago to Buffalo. Here is the snow forecast through Wednesday. Totals above 3 feet, 4 feet in many regions. So this is going to be a major system affecting a large swath of the U.S. Storm watch, major storm possible across northeast Wisconsin for the midweek. Heavy snow and bitter Arctic cold in the forecast for Montana. And temperatures warm up briefly before a winter storm could drop a month's worth of snow on Minneapolis. Yes, Minnesota weather. Storm likely to bring significant plowable snow. 8 inches, in fact, of new snow is likely for the Twin Cities metro. Hello. Let's take a look at the forecast. Massive winter storm to affect much of the U.S. this week. If you were looking for more winter, you're going to get it. A massive winter storm is expected to impact much of the U.S. this week with a variety of hazards. The system will begin across the northwest on President's Day and continue to dive through the west on Tuesday. Expect this week with widespread snow and heavy mountain snow, high winds, a transition zone of sleet and freezing rain, severe thunderstorms and heavy rain with record low and high temperatures. That is crazy. So record high in the southeast quadrant here, but record low behind it. And on the long-term forecast, over 6 feet of snow could be coming to the mid-continent there. That is insane. But let's walk the snow for you briefly. Okay, let's walk it through. Here's your Sunday fun day through Monday. So by Tuesday morning, snow will have only been entering the northwest into Montana and high elevations of Idaho and northwest Wyoming, as well as Washington State. By Tuesday morning, it will blow up, and up to 3 or 4 feet of snow Tuesday could fall in Washington alone. As the snow drops down through the Cascades and into the Sierras, by Wednesday morning, the storm will explode in the Four Corners region and move east. So Wednesday, Thursday, that's when all of this gets deposited in the northeast, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Minnesota, and South Dakota. Huge swaths of 16 inches moving through the entire system. And it's not over. Here's Saturday and Sunday, your fun day. More snow to the northeast. Another system moves across the same region, adding insult to injury. And if we just project this through, wow. The models look very snowy, and they appear to be increasing as we head into March, with up to 6 to 8 feet of snow for all of the Sierras and the Cascades, and 4 to 6 feet of snow for the upper Midwest. That is an amazing snow forecast. Well, that should make even Al Gore proud. Shut up, Al! Yeah, he didn't get any bunt cake tonight. Now, there is extreme cold in northern Manitoba, and it could last for several days, as well as far north Ontario, and it's no joke. Here are the lows tonight, minus 45. Holy macaroni, that huge plume tonight will acquiesce and move east with minus 30s and more minus 45s for Ontario and east. And that will be Tuesday. Wednesday, it's not looking good. Most of Canada is going to be below minus 20. Large swaths in the minus 30s or colder. This is not wind chills. So Thursday moves a little east, bringing minus 40s to the Ontario, Quebec region. And that is going to maintain here through Friday when the extreme colds will drop into the U.S., including Montana, North and South Dakota, getting to 20 below zero, as well as Minnesota. Say it ain't soda. And here we have the weekend forecast. It is warming up into the zeros. Holy macaroni. And then we have a little plume here in the east of Canada in the minus 30s. So winter is not over, and huge amounts of snow are coming. Nobody's bumming, especially in Europe. Take a look at the UK. Hey. Could they get a half a meter of snow in the first week of March? Well, it's on the model, as well as heavy snow for all of Spain, all of Italy, well, northern Spain. And, well, just in general, a very snowy pattern is going to kick off at the end of February here, and maybe bring some records to the UK, southern UK, with a half a meter of snow. Ho, ho. Here is the northern hemisphere total snow cover. Most of the land is covered north of 45, except for Eastern Europe. And that may change in just a few weeks, as it seems as if the winter season is extending further into early spring, ding ding, which is indicative of grand solar minimum, a weakening sun, and increased cosmic rays, which causes the breakdown of the jet stream, more meridional flow, and that polar vortex to dip deeper and deeper, like a creeper. Seismic update, no quakes of note, good news. Still more aftershocks in the Turkey region, unfortunately, as hopes dwindle on lives being saved there. As the earthquake death toll passes 46,000 amid desperation for signs of life. And in fact, people are still being rescued as of yesterday, which is amazing. Now, unfortunately, more than 46,000 people have been killed, and that number pales in comparison to the real number of deaths, because they have not, look at these piles of rubble, they have not gotten to many of the people. So that number will continue to rise and may surpass 100,000 over the next several months. Our prayers and thoughts go out to the folks in that region that are affected. Worldwide volcano news update. Good news, there are no major volcanic updates to update you on. We love it when a plan comes together. Space weather news update. The sun is getting quieter. SFI down to 169. The latest HMI intensity is showing just a few sunspots peppering the sun. This is the active region that shot the X 2.28 solar flare at us just a few days ago. It's right off the map here. And we are currently waiting for the coronal mass ejection to smash into us. KP index is still low. And the models suggest that we could get to G1 to G2 magnetic storm here in the WSA, probably G1. This is just a very small piece of plasma that's hitting us. So let's come over here to ACE real time, and what we're going to see is that the plasma speed is very low. Solar minimum low, 315 here, 320. Just moments ago it popped up to 470. So this could be the first coronal hole. This could be the coronal hole passage here, potentially. But the very little pop-up here. And then it drops way down to 313. So certainly no CME from an X flare is being shown here in the telemetry. So we're still waiting. This could be a coronal hole stream here, kicking space weather up to 400, but then it drops back down here on ACE. So back down to 300. That's going to make it very difficult to get to geomagnetic storms. So no worries on this X flare whatsoever, in my opinion. Planetary K index is very calm, down at 1.5, just about, which means we're almost psychic. Now, do you know about the unusual yellow gem in King Tut's tomb that was created by a meteor crash in the Sahara? It's this fantastic yellow scarab. There it is. And a paper coming out in 2019, overestimation of threat from a 100 megaton class airburst. high-pressure evidence from zircon in the Libyan desert glass. Now, what this paper proves is that this Libyan desert glass is not from a comet exploding above Earth, but an actual tiny meteorite penetrating the surface and melting the desert glass. Isn't that fantastic? As reported in the Journal of Geology in 2019, the yellow glass was caused by a meteorite impact that took place 29 million years ago. The researchers analyzed zircons within glass samples found in the Libyan desert glass and discovered that they must have been melted by an impact, not an airburst. Glass forms when sand melts at a very high temperature, and this was, well, one of the largest pieces of that melt glass that were ever found, and well carved spectacularly into the scarab. If you want to know more, all the links will be below, including the paper on the overestimation of the threat of 100 megaton class airburst, because you only need a small, let's say 4 megaton impact to create the same glass. And you can kiss the second Dust Bowl cometh for America, according to a supercomputer. Now, I don't know how much I want to believe from a supercomputer, especially after what I saw with Bing AI getting in a hissy fit here. But according to this supercomputer, they put in the real scientific data, climate data. And it is predicting, well, the climate model developed by researchers at the Department of Energy's Argonne National Labs projects prolonged droughts across much of the U.S., which will be followed by brief but devastating floods. But these events won't happen overnight. Instead, they are forecast to take place with increasing frequency over the next 5 decades. Grand solar minimum much? Hello. Daylight savings time 2023. When does it start? Why do we care? Well, we like to get to work on time. The time change will happen at 2 a.m. on March 12th this year, which is just a few weeks out. So just a heads up on the stupid idea of daylight savings time. And that's a boom to knowledge. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. We love you. And have a wonderful Sunday. Fun day. Be safe. Lots of reporting coming with this major storm that will be moving across the U.S. next week. What a tweak. We love you. And that's a boom. Happy Sunday.